Welcome back, guys. Wonka here, and this is actually going to be the final part to all of my animation tutorials. Um, this one isn't going to be as lengthy as the other ones. This one's going to cover a very small portion of some animations. This one is actually going to be animations for your tuts and using your body. Um, Now, when I say animations, the reason I want to get a little bit deep into this is simply because there's many different forms that you can portray your tuts, and what I mean by that is, you know, people like people like Lus are very, elegant with their touch. Her movements are very like soft, I would say, versus maybe somebody like Tangles or even Surge. Um, they're mid-tempo, so they don't go too fast nor too slow, but they kind of stay at the same pace. Um, but they have very precise, not hard stomps, but very profound stomps versus instead of somebody who kind of just like, flows through them, theirs are going to be more, they kind of add a little bit of an extra second to their stop. Now, me personally, since I do watch a lot of crumpers and stuff, I'm more fond of the more aggressive style of tutting. Very fast, sharp angles, but one thing that I do like about it is the fact that you can slow certain parts of those angles to kind of show some speed variation, um, which is something that I have been recently trying to master as well with my tuts. But as for animations, speed control does play a part, and that's kind of why I started off with that. Now, earlier in one of my tutorials, I spoke about contacts, and that is going to be something that I'm going to touch base very briefly on. But also, I'm going to touch base on a few other animation aspects that you could use with your tuts. Now, one of the contacts that I like to use is hitting the angle, you know, doing a light tap before you actually go on with your angle, or even if you went, which my hand doesn't really bend that way, but you got the gist, or do it this way, and it kind of hits it, and then you can kind of move on from there. Now, as you notice, I actually came into one of these just now. That's actually going to be one of the animation aspects that I am going to be talking to you about. There's going to be certain times where your hands will bend right into the other one, and you can kind of grab the other arm. This is actually a great animation tool to kind of show predominance in that hand, like kind of force the person to stare at that point. But it also kind of forces them to stare at your elbow first, or wherever you place the hand. In this sense, I'm going to place it here, and then bring it all the way back up. So they're literally watching your hand go from the top all the way to the bottom, and then you can grab it. Now, stomps are very effective in my opinion with tutting, and what I mean by stomps is literally like you can and just like stomp it to where it's like starts bouncing on the ground, or or where it starts bouncing in place. And the reason why I think that can be very effective is because if you're gloving to like trap or a very aggressive song, especially on that drop, when that drop kicks and that beat just like stops, and then that beat kicks in again, that's a great mode to like and just kind of like just go into it from there. Another idea that I've been having, you don't obviously have to copy this idea, but imagine tugging on like a rubber band. So imagine your hand being on a rubber band, or like a slingshot, and you're cocking it, and then it releases. you know you can do things like that with your tuts, to kind of add a little bit of pizzazz to them, kind of find a new way to change the angle without actually tutting through the angle itself, you know. And then another one that I wanted to talk to you or show you guys as well is like um, I guess the way that I could call this would be like crawling or like tugging on your tucks. So like if you notice that you're at an angle to where you know your arm is extended, you can you know kind of like call your hand over per se to grab it, and then you can you know grab it at that point. Um, Now obviously you can you know do it there. You can do it this way. I mean, obviously you wanna animate it a bit more, but having the illusion of your arm dragging across to the isolated point instead of moving it, but actually dragging it to that isolated point, it will add a really trippy effect. And then the last one that I wanted to get into is grabbing your joints, which I know you guys just saw me do one of these, but if you can like grab your elbow per se in this instance and move it, you know, and then you can literally grab your joints until you reach the other one, and then you can like drop down. I feel like grabbing your joints is a good way to not only animate a different angle, but you can kind of change the directional pattern by simply just turning your hand, you know. And it, like I mentioned before, it's just essentially made to add detail into your tuts. So instead of going same pace all the time and just doing nothing but angles, you can kind of throw a little bit of, you know, like a little swag in there, I guess you can say, to your tuts. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that this will actually help you guys find your own niche in tutting. For those of you that aren't into tutting or aren't very good at it, I hope that some of the tutorials that I have in here will help. And hopefully this will make tutting more fun for you guys. Have a great day.